Okay, it's working. Let me have that thing.
Two file on there. Gone.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And I don't need.
Yeah,
Get y'all's attention, we're sorry for the delay, executive session ran a little bit over. Call tonight's regular meeting to order. A prayer was held in our work session, pledge of allegiance was held in the work session. Next item on the agenda is approve the minutes for March 2nd, 2026 for our regular meeting. I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Council Pro Tem Young made the motion, I have a second. Council Crowley made the second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, do so raise your right hand. Motion passed 6-0. Approval of the agenda for tonight. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Council Dory made the motion, do I have a second? Yes, sir. Council Lucy made the second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, approve the agenda as presented, do so raise your right hand. Motion passed 6-0. Mayor's report.
Imagine seeing all you here tonight. Not a whole lot to report tonight. I would like to call to attention, I appreciate Bobby Taffin, Jaden Tuck, and Scott Hardy going to Washington last week and spending some time up there, mingling and learning a lot at the National League of Cities and representing us well. I wish I could have gone, but I was deterred doing housekeeping. My wife has taught me to fetch since she had surgery, and she blows a whistle and I go get what she blows. I heard a whistle back there, so, and that wasn't her whistle though, I recognize it. But as we go in and so forth, I just wanted to mention tonight, we need to continue our focus that we've started about. We need people to pay their bills. I passed out a document that each one of you have. The brown dots on that, that's the thing that Jerry fixed for us up in our Public Works or City Works Department. And each one of those dots on that map you have is representative of a residence that is not paying its utility bills. And that happens every 2 weeks. There's at least that many dots across the city. And I had him do that illustration so that we would know that this isn't an isolated problem that's isolated in one district or another district. If you look at those dots, they're all over our community. And the larger the dot, the more the expense of the utility is. We have utilities unpaid as of today, as I glanced through the report we got today for cutoffs. Some of those utilities are in excess of over $3,000. And again, we go back to, we had 6.5 million uncollected revenues in last year. So we're going to continue to ratchet down on that. There's going to be less forgiveness of those and more cutoffs, because we simply have to collect the revenue that we've got. The other issue that came up, and Gwen, you might be able to send me a personal picture of the pickup day, the trash day, and the picture in the paper. I don't know how many of y'all saw the picture in the paper last weekend of cleanup day. The bags and bags and bags of garbage along the sides of the streets and highways. We need to pay attention to our littering. I tell people that I hate to admit it, but there has been a time in my life when I would drive down, roll my window down when I got through with a pop bottle and throw it out. I'm guilty. But a number of years ago, it hit me when I started to throw the pop bottle out, that if we are littering the streets of our hometown or anybody else's hometown, that's a direct reflection on our character. And we need to realize that. I've asked our police department to be sensitive to the fact that if they see it, they might not necessarily start out giving tickets, but if you just lit somebody up and made them go back and pick up what they threw out of the window, that might be the beginning of some of that. But we need to take more pride in our community, and we need to be a better character in taking care of our community. So we're going to continue down those roads. I'm about finished with the document. I've reviewed it with most of you. Some of you have a copy of it, and those of you that don't can see me and get a copy. We just finalized a copy late this afternoon of a stump speech for Alexander City. We are becoming the center of excellence in East Alabama, and the things that we need to do and we need to be focused on, and the facts that support that, including the numbers that Romy and I have been over umpteen times, and we're together on the numbers. So when somebody asks what's happening in Elliott City, next week, we will have out a song to sing and a place to sing it. When somebody says, what's going on in Elliott City? Here's what's going on. Here's what our issues are. Here's what our solutions are. Here's what we need to do. Here's how much it's going to cost us, and we need to get together on singing that song. So that will become our stump speech moving forward in every way. There's several subjects in process with hopeful returns, and so far I'm pleased with the progress we're making. And I just remind you, I went out today and walked down the wall of mayors upstairs, and I had to go back through 6 mayors since I found a balanced budget that was supported by audits that were in time. 6 different mayors, so 6 different councils. That means if we get our act together, we work together, we got a chance to do something that hadn't been done in over 20 years. So I invite you, let's keep the journey going. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next item on the agenda is the reports from councils on standing committees, technology, information, and finances. Our IT department continues to make our city as cyber secure as they possibly can. That's one of the big things in Washington we talked about was cyber security and the cost of the cities would impact them if they wasn't secure. So I appreciate Miles and his group for what they do to protect our city. I know it was hit a while back, and he's made some actual attempts to keep us secure, and we haven't had any trouble since then, and hopefully don't. As far as our finances, we're still in pretty good shape. If you look at our funds that Romy gave to us, we're still a little over $8 million in our general fund, and the utility fund, we've got over $6 million, so we're stable there. She gave us the reports where it says, if you look through, all the department heads should be about 5%. Some of them are a little under, but that's generally just for their cost. But overall, department heads seem to be doing a very good job at each department. Rome, is anything you want to add to that? So that's all I have. Next is public safety. Council Pro Tem Young.
With the fire department, we've got 2 new trained employees that have joined us. And they want to remind you again that the blue address signs are still available. So people that are out there that would like to have those, please contact the fire department. In regards to the police department, we hired Officer Jeremy Cove. He'll be attending the refresher course at Northeast Alabama Law Enforcement Academy. Also, Deputy Chief Long and Captain McKinney will be attending a command college at Jacksonville State University starting March the 30th. These classes will help expand their knowledge of departmental management skills. Command college is 9 weeks total. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Utilities, Councilman Lucas.
Yeah, I didn't get a report this week, but we do have a Nick. I think he might have been in here earlier from the Sugar Creek facility. He took his grade 4 exam and passed it, so we have a grade 4 at Sugar Creek now. That's a good thing too. So I just appreciate all the work that the utility departments are doing, and just thank you.
Thank you for your report. Parks and Rec, Council Tuck.
At Parks and Rec Sportsplex, we have our softball, baseball opening day, Saturday, March the 28th. The opening ceremonies will be held on field 1, and they begin at 8 o'clock in the morning. The opening day has a fee of $5, but kids that are 12 and under are free. So 13 and up, you have to pay, unfortunately, but we need the revenue. So the opening day, games will start immediately after the ceremony. And then this past weekend, we had our Easter egg hunt. We had about 6,000 eggs out there, and we had kids from ages 3 to 12 years out getting selfies, Easter bunny selfies, playdates. So a lot of families and a lot of fun for the activities there. So we're looking forward to the next event. And we have in our other sports for the spring, soccer, track, we have a total of 750 kids that have signed up for these sports.
Thanks for that report. Public Works, Council Walker.
All right, some updates from the library. Still April 8th, 22nd, and 29th open for anyone who would like to volunteer to read. Wednesday story times, it's at 10 a.m. The phone number there at Mamie's is 256-409-7015. There'll also be an Easter egg hunt there on April 1st at 10 a.m. after the story time program. After the 10 a.m. story time program, there'll be a painting class on April 2nd at 2 p.m. That class is for all ages, and there's still a good selection of free books and for sale books. Update from the building department, there was a new building inspector hired, so congratulations there and welcome aboard. There's no update at Public Works. And from community development, we recently attended a National League of Cities conference with Council President Tapley and Councilor Tuck. A lot of focus was on funding opportunities, infrastructure, housing, and how cities our size are positioning themselves for growth. It was helpful to see what working in other communities have been through, how we can apply some of that here in Alex City. We were awarded an America 250 grant in connection with the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. As part of that, we'll plan a proclamation ceremony and coordinate a student essay component to help engage our schools and broader community. We'll share more details of those plans as they come together. In addition, last week, we submitted federal, or the Community Development Committee group, which I guess is each one person. Well, I guess you got a team there. But in addition, they submitted federal appropriation requests through Senator Britt's office focused on utility infrastructure improvements. We're finalizing a similar submission to Senator Tubble's office that will go out this week.
Thanks for that report. Council Gorey.
From the cemetery, unfortunately, we had one burial last week and another one is scheduled for this week. And there's currently going through an ongoing review of insurance renewal. The two things that were reported to me. But I do want to give a shout out to Michelle West at Main Street. They just hosted the 5th annual chili and gumbo cook-off on Saturday, March 7th. Just what a great job she's doing, revitalizing, promoting, preserving our historic downtown district. They're doing a great job trying to get food vendors, just building up community spirit. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Michelle and all her team for trying to bring stuff downtown, and let's get downtown back up and going again. That's all I have to say.
Council Gorey. Reports for special committees. We will be having a vacancy on the Board of Education due to Brett Pritchard. Of course, we're going to accept the application. I guess it's tough for us. Did you say March 31st? The council will want to do that. You think it needs to be later?
I thought the applications would be accepted through April the 10th, and then the interviews.
And then we'll make the appointment on them.
Yeah, the appointment would be on 4/20 is what I was under the impression. They take office, The university. Right, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take applications through 410, make the appointment on the 20th, and then we will,
Oh, the interviews.
yeah, we'll go to the interviews at 416, once we get all that in.
416 or 420?
416, we'll make the appointment on 420.
Interviews.
Okay. You're taking applications through April 10th
Yes,
and interviews when?
April 16th.
How are we currently advertising that now? Is it, I know it's on the city website, I think, right? But is it also being done in the Outlook already?
We posted on the city's website as well as y'all announcing it. I don't know if BOE puts it on their website or advertises it.
The superintendent, yeah, can you answer that for us?
We'll put a link once y'all, make that advertisement, we'll put a link on our page, so whenever y'all, have it on y'all, we'll link it to that.
UTI?
I can do a story.
All right, sounds good. The next item on our agenda is just an update on the sports field. Dr. Reyes, you want to step forward?
All right, thank y'all for allowing us to come this evening. I have with me, from Lathan Architecture, Scott Zush. Did good, didn't Scott? Outstanding. Scott's with us. Lathan has been the architect for the Alexander City Schools for several years. They've done the work at the current middle school. They did the work at Jim Pearson. Obviously, they've done the work at the new high school as well. So Scott's going to be here. He's going to show you some things in just a moment. I just wanted to bring to your attention the Jumbotron at the Sportsplex. We were able to do that. The school system provided $675,000 for the Jumbotron. I think it's been a wonderful addition to our Friday night events, and certainly we would love to use it in other capacities as well. You'll see it working at graduation. Mom and dad, grandmom and grandfather will be able to see the kids when they're walking across the field, getting their diplomas. You'll look up on the Jumbotron and there it will be. So we'll use it in multiple ways, but we were excited that we were able to do that. Also, speakers in the baseball field, we spent about $85,000. There'll be new speakers out of the baseball field, not only for the varsity field, but it'll also be usable for all the other fields. So we should see much improved sound system there on the high school field as well as the other fields. So tonight, we're going to talk about turf for softball and baseball fields, some dugout additions at the softball field, locker room additions for the baseball field. We are looking at bidding that out next week on Tuesday. The mayor and council president Tapley asked for some more information a few weeks back that I've sent to them. And if there is any other information that we need to provide in order to be able to make this happen, obviously we want to follow all the rules and regulations in order to do that. But we certainly, again, will provide that information if needed. But Scott's going to come tonight, and I just want to give him an opportunity to give you guys and lady an idea of what we're going to do, what we would love to do out at the baseball and softball field. So Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Scott Zush. I'm an architect with Lathan Associates Architects in Birmingham. I just want to give a quick overview of the proposed project out of the Sportsplex for the baseball and softball additions and renovations. Just to go through, just to give you a quick overview. The project basically consists of, for baseball, we're going to be doing an addition to the existing locker room building, which is behind the dugout, and then we're going to be turfing the infield and down the lines and then in bullpen areas, as well as upgrading the existing protective screens in front of the home dugouts and visitors dugouts. That's just basic. I'll get into the drawings here shortly. That's the basic scope of work for baseball. Softball is going to be a full field turf renovation, and then we're going to take what would be the existing visitor dugout, make it the new home dugout with a press box above it, and then take the existing home dugout, and that will become the visitor dugout, and then we will upgrade the existing protective screens in both dugouts as well. So that basically gives you the basic program. These are just basically the civil drawings showing that. I'll get it to the landscape to show you pretty pictures of what the actual turf will look like. Starting with baseball, this is basically a drawing showing the will be the base bid project for the turf for the baseball field, and then down the lines, first base and third base dugout lines all the way down to the outfield fence. We would do full turf, as you can see here on the infield, and then it will also consist of new fencing around the outfields and around the total field, as well as fixing the existing drainage issues in left field that they have now, but keeping it turf, keeping it grass, natural grass, and just fixing the drainage problem that they're having. That gives you the basic scope for what would be the base bid. The alternate for that baseball field would be to do a full, well, this is the softball field, full turf baseball field, all in the outfield, basically consisting of everything as an alternate to the project, as well as another alternate for what would be the concrete, putting concrete and around behind the backstop, which is currently grass, and they're having some drainage issues there with flooding. We're doing an alternate to make that all concrete as well. So that would basically be the scope of work for the actual turf project for that. As far as the scope of work turf for the softball field, this would be basically, this is some of the baseball field outfield with the VR. Again, this is the full field for the alternate there. The softball field will basically consist of full turf infield, full turf field, infield and outfield, new bullpen turf, new fencing systems around the outfield and around the sides, new foul poles. So basically a full turf softball field. No alternates for the softball field, just because of the size of the field, we're able to do the entire field for turf to accomplish what they need for the softball field. As far as structures go, and these are just, again, the graphics for the softball field. This is the infield graphics for the baseball field base bid. These are the graphics for the softball field. The architectural upgrades and improvements. This is the existing softball field. We're showing the new turf. This part right here is the existing home dugout. We're actually going to take that and move the new home dugout to what will be the existing visitor side. So you'll have a new structure there. And again, this stays as is, except for the new fencing in front of it. For the baseball field, this shows your turf infield base bid. This is the addition to the existing locker room. So we're basically just adding an 800 square foot addition to the existing locker room, to include some upgrades and improvements. This is basically, this right here is the new softball home dugout and press box. First floor basically consists of the new home locker room, toilets, coaches' rooms, and the storage room. And then as you go upstairs, this will be the new press box overlooking the field for the softball. This would be the addition to the baseball field. This is for the baseball locker room. So this basically is taking the existing coach's locker room and expanding it and making a new coach's locker room with a toilet, a storage room, little work area, and then an umpire dressing room for the umpires, so that they're not mixing with the public as far as being able to stay away and change and so forth. That basically gives you the scope of work for the structures of the project along with the fields. Like he said, the project is anticipated to bid next Tuesday. So far, we have probably on the list right now, as of yesterday, as of Friday, we had 8 bidders on the list. I expect that with the extension of the bid, I think we'll probably have, hopefully, that number will grow. We'll hopefully get up to 10 or 12 bidders on the project. Hopefully, we definitely will look for some local participation for bidders, like we've been successful on some other projects as well. So that's really all I have. Any questions, comments?
I got a quick question. Did I misunderstand something a while ago? The speakers and all that, for the high school field, will it still be upstairs in the tower up there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, for the baseball, we're not doing anything with press box. They're actually, the school system is doing the speakers upgrade as part of the separate project. Now, we will have a new speaker system for the softball field, which will be comprised of the home speaker system being up in the press box. The baseball will stay as is with the upgrade, doing that separately. But it will remain as is.
And that's interesting to me that the bids on this are done by the Board of Education instead of us, since it's city property. How does that work? Or is he working?
It's part of a grant, and we sent in the information to the state with the description from the school board on what the work was, so that our grant stays in place and we don't suffer anything except benefit instead of consequences. So in effect, compliments of the school system, Board of Education, we're getting an upgrade on our facilities that's costing us nothing.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I guess I was just curious how the bid process has to happen when you're dealing with city property versus non-city property. So it didn't really change?
Their work.
I can't speak to the bid process. I just know even if they do bid it, that no work can begin until we get final approval from the Land Water Conservation Fund through the DECA.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Who's responsible for maintenance on this after it's done? Will that be the city or the school system? How does that work?
The city will continue to maintain the fields as they do now. And as part of the project, like I said, with the turf and the upgrade of the turf, as part of the bid, they actually will get all the equipment required for the upkeep of the turf itself. So that'll be turned over to the city and they will.
Jeremy, you got some new toys. You got some new toys.
Yeah.
Play with it.
And what I was talking with, our new director, what we see is with these fields. What I would say with these fields is that, hopefully it would give, the city and the council an opportunity just to see, the, effect that those fields would have. A lot of, cities are turfing all of their fields, so I think it would just be a good start for us to see, how those, things work out. And as Mr. Young, indicated, how you take care of them and what are you supposed to do when this happens, X, Y, and Z on that. But then also, I think it's a place where when we talk about our leagues, like for example, softball, obviously they would play on their own fields, but then when you start having championship games, the high school would then say, hey, we'll have the 8 and 9-year-old championship game here, the 11, 12. I mean, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the kids to where they want to get involved in our programs. And I think that that's how you could use that as a hood to get them to play baseball for Vincent, and also to play softball as well. So we certainly hope that that will be the ultimate effect there. So, as far as the bidding, when we did the Jumbotron, we bidded that out, got all the approvals. The previous mayor got all the approvals we needed, and it was a very seamless activity for us, and I would assume that this would be the same case. We're excited that we've got 8 bidders. I would love to have 10. If you only have 1 or 2, I think you know how that goes. But we've had a lot of bidders. People are hungry for work, and several of the projects that we've done lately, we've been very fortunate that several of our local people have gotten work. I know that on the outdoor facility, I know that Alexander Smith will be doing all the dirt work, and then Bill's Electric will be doing some of the work there. So we're hopeful that when we spend this type of money, that our local people have opportunities as well. So we sort of feel like we're giving back in multiple ways. So hopefully everything will be approved, and we'll be able to do this. And I think again, it will be a great shot in the arm for our athletic programs and for the city in general. So we appreciate you letting us come, and y'all feel free if you ever have any questions, please give us a call, and we'll try to answer those questions as best we can.
Thank you, Doc.
Let us know when y'all gonna start on the Little League fields too, if you don't mind, please.
We'll put that in next year's budget.
Thank you for the update. We look forward to seeing this come to life out there. It'll be a great access for our city. Tonight, we have, next on the agenda is public hearing to rezone property located at 2431 Dable Road from I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District to P2 General Business. Open the public hearing. No one is signed up to speak on behalf, so I'll close the public hearing on that one. Number 2 is rezone property located at Lakeview Circle from RR Residential to SD1, which is Special District, Lakefront Residential Resort District. No one signed up to make a comment on the public hearing tonight for that, so I will open and close the public hearing for that. The next item on the agenda is public comment to address anything on the agenda. Some did sign up. Chris Mann was one of them. I think he has left. We had a Jarrett Johnson. I don't know if he's here. Not seeing anyone. We gave the opportunity for both. No one's here to speak on that. I think they signed up by mistake. Of course, the city finance. But you got anything further?
I just wanted to make one comment, that our general fund revenue is up 4% from where it would normally be at this time of year, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah, so if you got a question?
Praise the Lord.
We don't have any proclamation tonight, no unfinished business. Tonight's new business and the ordinance to rezone property located at 2431 Dable Road from Light Industrial District to B2 General Business. We talked about this, Mallory, I guess, did you hear?
Yes, sir, this is one that we talked about last meeting.
Yeah, and that's the slacky flooring that
Yes, sir.
turned into a
Yes,
barber
sir,
shop.
it's been a business for years and years and years and years.
Yeah, hair salon.
Yes.
Not a barber shop. All right, do I have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
Make a motion to approve the ordinance as presented.
Council Tuck made a motion, do I have a second? Council Gordon made the second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of passing the ordinance as presented, just raise your right hand. Motion passed, 6-0. Number 2 is the ordinance to rezone property located on Lakeview Circle from RR Residential, Reserve Residential to SD1 Special District. And I guess that's still down in Turtleneck, but we
Yes,
talked about the meeting before. Do I have a motion to pass the ordinance as presented?
I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance as presented.
Council Pro Tem Young made the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Council Tuck made the second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of passing the ordinance as presented, just raise your right hand. Motion carried, 6-0. Item number 3 is a resolution to set a public hearing to rezone property located at 428 Marshall Street from B1 Neighborhood District to R3 High Density Residential to B2 General Business. Mallory, you want to speak on that?
Yes, sir. So this is for Connect Church. They actually have, over time, they've purchased all the parcels around the main building. So it is actually zoned B1, B2, and R3. They came to Planning Commission to consolidate everything into one parcel and then to rezone it properly to a B2 so that they meet all the requirements. So they're in line with everything that, the city would ask them to do.
This is just to set a public hearing for our next council
Yes,
meeting.
sir. So the information that y'all probably have, it's a lot, so that way everything's cleaned up the way it needs to be.
Yeah, I know it's from, was it Jackson Street, is that right?
Yeah, it's
All the
from
way-
Jackson, and then right there where there's another, I think, the muffler shop and everything, that other business, it comes right to them on that line.
Right. So there's a lot of it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for that update. Do we have a motion to set the public hearing? So Walter made the motion, do I have a second?
Okay.
Mr. Gordy made the second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, do so by raising your right hand. Motion carried, 6-0. Number 4 on our agenda tonight is resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a toll agreement with Troy Cablevision, Inc. and its affiliates for distribution of those. I guess who's here to speak on that tonight?
I see Joe Ray here, I thought he was here earlier. You got any?
Have you had any additional to it? No.
And that would just be a lease agreement with them to use our poles. We
Yeah.
do that a lot around here.
Yeah, it's a period.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve resolution as presented?
I make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Council Tuck made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Council Pro Tem Young made the second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, pass the resolution as presented, do so raise your right hand. Motion carried, 6-0. Number 5 on the agenda is authorize the mayor to enter into agreement with Alabama Power to install street lights in phase 4 of Miners Cove subdivision. Drew?
This is another fairly standard practice. Miners Cove Phase 4 is a new subdivision. It's built to our specs. One of those specs is the requirement for street lighting. This is a deal with Alabama Power. The developer pays for the poles and installation. This obligates us to pay the light bill on those lights, and that's all we're on the hook for, is paying the light bill.
Okay. Questions from Drew? Do I have a motion to, thank you, Drew. Sure. Do I have a motion to approve resolution as presented?
Make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Council Tuck made the motion. Do I have a second? Council Goldring made the second. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carried, 6-0. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance to approve an updated comprehensive and classification plan for the city of Alexander City. I know Christian spoke with us that tonight. Christian, anything you want to add to that?
The only thing that I would add is, as far as timing, we, certainly understand that, it's only 2 weeks between now and the next meeting, but we do have a lot of vacancies. So it would be beneficial at some point to be able to advertise those on the new pay rates, and I think we might have better luck. So that's the only other thing to consider. And then Mayor, if you have anything you want to add.
I think we've been real clear that any change that comes up or any facts that come up that change any of the data we've got, we'll adjust those ongoing, which is only an ethical thing to do. And bring those changes would be brought here if the need for them is recognized.
Thank you.
Since this is the ordinance, we'll need immediate consideration. Do I have a motion for immediate consideration?
Make a motion for immediate consideration.
Have a motion for immediate consideration by Councilman Tuck. Do I have a second? Councilman Lucas made a second. Any further questions or comments?
I've got a comment. All due respect, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with what you have said, but my concern is I'm more concerned about our employees that are currently hired than I am the ones that we bring on. I know it's important to bring those people on as soon as we can, but I'd like to request that the ordinance to approve the updated compensation and classification plans for the city of Elk City be tabled until the next council meeting or as needed.
Since this is an ordinance, it will take unanimous consent, so if one person votes against it, it will automatically go to our next council meeting. Any further questions, comments? All those in favor of immediate consideration of the ordinance, do so by raising your right hand. Motion failed. Well, all those in favor of not in favor, do so by raising your right hand. Motion failed 4-2, so this will go on our next agenda. Number 7, ordinance to designate municipal officers. Okay, this is municipal officers pertaining to the council being able to approve the mayor's department head meetings. I guess,
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
Yes, what this is about is accountability, and there's been some concerns, and just kind of go through it with you real quickly. I know there's been concerns with legally, in regards to whether this can even be done. I know that I've spoken to 2 cities outside of Elliott City, one with Coleman and one with Fairhope, that got proof that this process can move forward. However, there are reasons, for the uncertainty among legal minds, and as I think, Larkin has mentioned, he uses the word, it's my opinion quite often, and that's exactly what I got out of some of the other, people. But, I want to make sure you understand that the intent of this is not to dictate who is hired or who is fired. It is only an accountability process that once we hire someone, that they must be qualified or they must meet the requirements for those jobs. That's all we were doing, is trying to, all that I was requesting is that we try to find a way to make sure we are accountable in everything we do, not only to our city employees, but also to our citizens. Now, we're obligated to show accountability and transparency in everything we do. Now, after talking to the city of Coleman, who has this in place now, they made it real clear that the lawsuit that was discussed, Coachman lawsuit back in, I think, from Fairfield, that there were a lot of discrepancies in that, and based on the League of Municipalities agreement and the city of attorney for Coleman, Randy Lee, they agreed to move forward with that. On the other side of the coin, very clearly, Ms. Lee made the comment that one thing that this is as clear as mud, stating that there are so many concerns or so many things that we really don't, they felt comfortable with where they are, but it depends on our attorneys and all that to decide this. City of Fairhope also sought approval, but after discussion between the council and the mayor, chose to find a more equitable solution that would assure accountability and fairness for all parties involved. So I'd like to personally think that we can do this as well. I'm requesting now that we table this ordinance tonight, and I was the one that sponsored it, and asked the mayor and the HR department and the council to try to establish a reasonable and equitable solution within the hiring process that would assure our employees and our citizens accountability on all hiring decisions. That if this can't be reached, we can always come back and recommend to the council that we revisit this solution.
Larkin, I know you and I had talked.
You want me to address it now or the next council meeting? Or when?
You could address it now. I think that would help all the council members.
I agree with Councilman Young. There are opinions out there. Everybody's got one, but the Supreme Court has acted on this case, and it's the Scott versus Coachman case, which has been cited in 2019 by approval by the Supreme Court. Let me just tell you a little bit about the structure of judicial system. The Attorney General's office makes opinions. That's not precedent. It doesn't come to law. I, as a lawyer, don't go into the court and say, well, Judge, the Attorney General said this about that. They would laugh me out of the courtroom. It's an opinion. The Supreme Court, on the other hand, they make the law. They read the statute and make a decision, and they say, this is it. How the Attorney General's office in 2012, I think they went too far in their opinion, and they created a method by which they think a city council can take over certain positions as far as hiring and termination. Termination is no problem, because the council don't generally do that anyway when there's an appeal. But as far as the hiring process, the city of Fairfield is the case. Mayor Coachman was the appointing authority for most of exactly what is in this particular proposed ordinance. But the city council passed an ordinance stating that they were going to take over all of that for approval purposes. And so the mayor filed suit, declaratory judgment action, and an injunctive relief in Jefferson County, and so had a trial. The Jefferson County Circuit Court determined that that was a violation of the state statute giving the mayor the opportunity to appoint and terminate certain employees. The council has a very right to appoint the clerk, CFO, the police chief, fire chief. They are in the statute. The council, and only the council, can do that. But the mayor has all the other responsibilities. And I just want to read to you the similarity in what this council is looking at today with Fairfield. In Fairfield, the ordinance provided that the mayor was the appointing authority and that the mayor's appointing authority was to be exercised with the advice and consent of the Fairfield Council. Well, the trial court said that was a violation of law. That was a violation of 1143-1, mayor's authority, and 81. And Fairfield amended, the council took that to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was very clear, I thought, very clear in stating, and I'll just read it to you. And by the way, they mentioned by the fact that some of the municipalities are making decisions based on the Attorney General's opinion, and they say, however, despite the Court of Civil Appeals conclusion and the aforementioned Attorney General's opinions to the effect that a city council can enact an ordinance reserving for itself the appointing authority for a municipality, we hold that the phrase not otherwise provided for law in 1143-81 does not allow such an interpretation in this case. The source of the city council's authority is not found in the ordinances enacted by the city council, but the authority is that of the Alabama legislature granting it to the city council. The legislature has granted the city council's appointing authority with regard to certain offices of town, but otherwise it is the mayor's duty and responsibility to hire and fire. So I don't know how the Attorney General got that wrong. In fact, in 2017, there's another Attorney General's opinion that actually sort of backs away from that. It goes back to what Scott, I think, is saying, Scott versus Coachman. So it's clear to me, and in fact, in the concurring opinion of that, another judge wrote the opinion and said the question becomes whether this court can conclude that the legislature intended that the city councils have the authority to create exceptions to this general rule to create exceptions to the general rule by enacting ordinances to such effect. If not, then any such ordinance would have to yield to the contrary statutory delegation of the law. And it's axiomatic that state statutory law is superior to ordinances. So I really think that if the legislature, if this council acts on that, it's got to be refined somewhat other than just the approval of the council. I don't know where you go with that. Otherwise, I think that certainly the mayor or any citizen of Alexander City could contest this ordinance in court. So I really, y'all meet and see what you want to do, but it's got to be, it's got to be the mayor's decision. And maybe, the qualifications should be more defined. I don't know, but to take away the mayor, any mayor, not just this mayor, but any mayor. In fact, this Gordon Shaw administration, I don't know if you remember that or not. You weren't on that.
I was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were, Bill. Yeah.
No, I just come off, yeah.
Yeah. So I really think that the Attorney General's opinion is just that. And by the way, every time that a municipality goes to the Attorney General's office for an opinion, they say, but please confer with your city attorney. And this is the case, and I was asked to look at this, and that's my opinion. And actually, it's the law that Scott versus Coachman states that the council cannot overstep its hiring and firing policies over the mayor's right to do so. So, any questions about that?
The only question I have is that the city attorney, Randy Lee, was talking about the Coachman case related more to an administrative assistant to the mayor and not the positions of department heads. She said that's why there were so many holes in, like what you mentioned about how uncertain it could be, but she was discussing the extensive research that she had done it, and she stated that the individual that was at hand was an administrative assistant, which would be different than what I've referred to.
I don't know about that, because the council took over all the appointments, not just that administrative assistant. I mean.
Yeah, no, after that, yes, it did, right, yeah.
So, anyway, that's my opinion, but my opinion is based on law.
Yeah.
and my opinion is not based on the Attorney General's opinion, so. Any questions?
Thank you for that.
I know the mayor, we've had a meeting with the mayor, he said, you know, he doesn't mind when he's interviewing the department heads, that 2 or 3 of the council members want to sit in there. He had mentioned that he'd be okay with that, but it's still his decision. Yeah, and I know Councilman Young made earlier, you made mention about tabling this, so, at this time we can table it, so choose that.
But it's not necessary, if we're not moving in that direction, that's fine, I just was requesting that, as we had this meeting with the mayor, I would hope that the discussion in that meeting was, we were sincere about moving forward with some type of, equitable, understanding about that. And I don't know what that would be, this kind of thing, so.
I laid out a process, can I speak?
Yes, sir.
I laid out a process in that meeting that we use, and the continuation of that process was intentional, that there would be council participation in the interviews as appropriate. That's the process we laid out. And I intend to live by it.
It's an ordinance, we either got to table it, or we vote on it, and bring it for consideration, and if we bring it to consideration, it will show up on the next agenda, and we'd have to remove it then.
I don't think it's necessary to do that, to be honest with you. I think we can move forward and get through it. Yeah.
So go ahead and table.
Yeah.
Is that a motion to table?
Yeah, that's a motion, yeah.
If I could make a suggestion,
Sure. Yes.
vote for immediate consideration, then vote for the ordinance.
That's a good idea. We can go and vote, yeah.
All right. So I have a motion for immediate consideration.
I'll make a motion for immediate consideration.
Councilman Pro Tem Young made a motion for immediate consideration. Do we have a second?
Yes, sir.
Councilman Lucas made a second. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor for immediate consideration, please raise your right hand.
Don't we want to approve this and then come back and
For
vote?
immediate consideration.
I do not want to approve this.
I'm not going to do that.
This is for immediate
This is
consideration,
just,
and then you're gonna vote on the ordinance, yay or nay.
right, and then you would vote down, yeah. Let's start that over.
So we got a motion and a second for immediate consideration. All those in favor for immediate consideration, please raise your right hand. All those, so we got 4 in favor, all those against it, please raise your right hand. So it failed to get immediate consideration.
Okay, can I ask a question?
So now, it automatically goes to the next meeting.
That's fine. That's
You
fine.
could have killed it tonight.
I mean, we could have, or we could have not. So put it on the next one. And we'll have to see. And then,
I'm discussing it with him.
I can talk to you.
All right. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is request to approve a ABC tobacco and alternative nicotine products off premises. The Rabbit Hole located at 2574 Highway 280, Unit A. I know that Chief Five is here. We're going to let Chief Five speak first on it.
Mine's more directed toward the, number 9, request of number 9, more than the request of number 8.
Okay.
As for, number 8, I have no objection on that, nothing really to say on that.
Okay. All right, thank you. I guess,
I'll just let you know I'll take a call
if you need to talk, come on up.
I'm good at the moment.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the request as presented?
For number 8?
Yes.
Yes, I make a motion to approve it just as presented.
Council Tuck made a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Doherty made a second. Any questions, comments now? Hearing none, all those in favor of passing the request as presented, please raise your right hand. All those opposed? All those who abstain? Motion passed 5-0, Councilman Lucas abstaining. All right, now, item number 9, request for ABC Lounge retail liquor class 1 off premises, and especially retail of consumption of hemp products to the Rabbit Hole It's the same location, 2574 Highway 280. Chief?
Yeah, obviously, there are rules and regulations that with the sale of hemp in the state of Alabama. House Bill 445, and then make sure I'm telling you right. Yes, House Bill 445 gives rules and regulations as to what they can do and how they can get their licenses and be able to sell the hemp within the state. As long as they follow those rules and everything, I have no objection to that. Just have a few concerns to bring before the council, and just something to be thinking about. That particular location, you have a daycare facility, which is at Springfield and County Road, that Miss Edwards generally sets in. I probably don't know Miss Edwards. But she, from that back door of that facility to her daycare is less than 350 yards. Just down the road from that on County Road is a Boys and Girls Club. Okay. Just a concern, this is what we see in the city as we stop and come in contact with our kids. This is what we're advertising just down the road from our daycare and the Boys and Girls Club. Only other thing too, to add to that, we've heard the mayor talk more than once about our comprehensive plan, our strategic plan. Is this what we're going towards for our city? Is this what we want? So that's just the questions you have to ask yourself before you vote on this tonight. And once again, on the package store side of things, within a couple hundred yards, you've got the ABC store. Across the street, you've got alcohol sales here. How many do you need? So that's my only concerns. As far as the laws on the hemp sales, as long as they stay within regulations of what the state asking to do, no objections on that. That's just my concerns. Questions?
Any questions? I guess it's no light fill up. And please state your name and your address.
My name is Drew Harden. Just recently purchased, I live at 663 Timber Trail, here in Elk City. Well, it's right outside the city limits, but anyways, we just bought this business back in January, and I'm going through the proper channels to try to be legal about everything. My wife and I bought it, we own it together. And, we're trying to follow the proper procedures to make sure it's legal, but this was an established business for the past 6 years, and all of this has already been for sale there. And except for the liquor, the only thing we're adding is liquor. The only reason I guess we're having to go through the state now is because the law's changed. So just know that before you vote. This has been established for 6 years. It's been a successful business for 6 years. That's all I really want to say.
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, could you come back up just a second, please? Yes, please. All right. So just clarify this. So, clarify what's changing, what's actually changing. What do you actually sell now versus what you're gonna sell then?
The only thing that's actually changing will be the liquor side of it. And there is an ordinance, I believe, I don't know which council, but I think it was 2022. There is an ordinance to allow medical marijuana use here, but that's not obviously allowed here at the moment. So I don't know what the difference is between the hemp would be. There was a council member, not a member, but an ordinance though that, I don't know how it all works, but it allowed medical marijuana use here, as long as you had a card. So I'm just trying to do it legal and make it, just hemp, not medical marijuana, just hemp.
Any further questions?
May I speak?
Yes, Scott.
On the medical marijuana, the reason I presented that ordinance 3 years ago was just the state has nothing to do with this. The state has a requirement that pretty much when you turn in your application to them, if that city doesn't already have an ordinance, your application will go to the bottom. So after a conference and training with that committee that will issue those licenses, they gave us a template, said go ahead and present it, get that part out of the way. That way, if we haven't approved any of those licenses, none of them been presented to us. It's just, that was just ordinance we went ahead and got out of the way that said we'd look at it when that time comes. But the license that the Rabbit Hole has right now is the tobacco and other nicotine products.
Any other questions or comments?
I mean, I can just add, he says, you know, that they do sell, they're not changing anything other than what they sell. I can tell you from our side of it, on the law enforcement side of it, anytime someone is sold a package, say this for instance is a package that you're sold out of that store, you then take possession of it. Once you take possession of that package and you open that package, okay, now I can't tell you if it's hemp or marijuana that you placed inside this package, which then becomes a controlled substance in the state of Alabama, okay? I've seen too many times that, unfortunately, that the citizens of this community and the county and other parts of other counties are not familiar with that, and they get caught up in a felony. They end up catching a felony because they were uneducated. That's my only concern is, you know, one other concern, I just see the potential for our citizens. So,
May I add to that also? So in the store, we have labels printed on everything. And it says, do not use this, do not open it until you get to your house. What they do when they leave that store, that's out of my control. I present it to them and let everybody know, you cannot open this until you get home. What they do with it from there, again, I can't control. But it is on every label in there.
And you're currently selling this right now?
It was already in the store. And the state has allowed us just to continue doing everything we've already done, according to the ABC board when we went. It was 3 weeks ago, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So which are these seven?
It's, in product.
Why was it added to the recording stuff? That's what it's a transfer license. Transfer license. Okay.
The only thing he's asking for is ABC, lounge, retail, liquor license.
Okay, I got you.
And this license was approved when? The first time? What year? When did you get your license initially?
He's in there longer. It would have been another store owner.
Yeah, the other
store.
I bought the business. My wife and I bought the business.
And so you don't have to transfer that? You don't have to go through a process to transfer?
That's what that is. The transfer allows them to continue to sell it until they're approved.
Correct.
You're saying this didn't have to be approved for the previous owner, hemp was not, I mean.
It was not that I saw on their application. I didn't see the hemp or, and the liquor.
It was, to my understanding from the ABC board, it was allowed everywhere. That's the reason the ABC board explained it to my wife and I as it got out of control and convenience stores were having it on the shelf, where you can grab it with a kid, if a kid walks in there. That's not what we're after. We're just trying to keep it behind the counter. Nobody can walk in there unless you're 21 years of age, all that.
I guess I'm a little confused with this one thing. To the point is he bought this store. The store was already doing this, right?
Yes,
He
sir.
bought this store, and now because he's new in this business, he has to be permitted by the state.
Yes, sir.
Right, so everything that was being sold in that store prior to this, when he bought it, the only thing the only thing we gotta worry about is a background check on this gentleman. Or, is that right, in regards to I guess is what I'm saying, in regards to whether he can sell that or not.
Yes, sir.
So this ordinance right here only stating that That's not on us to decide whether he sells at night, right?
We can, just,
Well,
if we don't want. if
But his
that's what
request is just for alcohol tonight, to be added to that.
It's for both.
No, it's for both.
Yeah,
The only way I
alcohol,
can
yeah.
sell anything in that store is if I have a package store license, and that's what I applied for through the state. They granted it, and they put it before y'all. Because it was already in the store for the past 6 years. The only thing I'm adding is liquor.
Yeah, the previous owner didn't have a liquor license.
And that's what I have to have based on the state laws.
Liquor license, so,
It's a specialty retailer license with liquor package store license.
It's two separate licenses on that application.
Is it?
yeah, there are.
Here's the hint one, it's up on the screen.
011's lounge retail liquor, 700 specialty retailer of consumable hemp products. It's two different licenses.
Yeah.
It's just on the same application. So he had, the reason there was an 8 and a 9, 8 was the transfer of what the old owner had to what he was gonna continue to do. 9 is the addition.
Yeah.
But the only thing was, the hemp, the previous owner didn't have to have the endorsement for hemp because the law changed, so he does have to have it.
Correct.
You can come up.
My name is Brianna Williams, pardon now.
Yeah.
Just got married. I also reside at 663 Timber Trail, LLC. The reason we have to have those 3 different licenses is, I don't understand it. The ABC board says you can have the tobacco license, or you can have all of them. You can't just pick consumable hemp and not have alcohol. You have to have the whole package license.
And the only way the business will be successful and for it to keep thriving in Elliott City is if we continue with hemp and add alcohol. That
That's
is
the
our
reasoning
business
for the hemp
plan.
and the
That is the whole
alcohol.
reason for all of this.
We're just following their rules for permits that we have to have, and they say we have to have all of them, which means we would have to add alcohol.
Do you know, Scott?
I don't, I'd have to call my contact tomorrow and ask her, because this is the first one we've had, so,
Yeah.
And we worked with this for quite a while. It was back and forth calling, all kinds of stuff. We had a 4-hour meeting with ABC board. And everything is still up in there on their end too, but they did grant us this to present it to y'all.
Yeah. I think, with the council, and speak for myself, there's a little bit of confusion. If we were to table this and bring it back in 2 weeks, so we can get a definite opinion from Scotty to check, to make sure with that, I know it'll delay you 2 weeks, but I think we'd rather make sure we get it right.
That's all we can ask for.
We're just trying to do everything by the books.
Yeah. There's a lot of
All
questions
the
on this.
previous owner had was the tobacco license. We don't know if that was how it was supposed to be ran or not, but we would like to do it.
When you purchased this building, this business with the understanding that you were gonna be able to continue doing it as is, but adding liquor.
Correct. Correct.
According to the ABC board, that's what we have to do.
Say that again?
I said, we then found out you couldn't, and you had to go back in.
Correct.
Okay, Scotty.
Liquor wasn't part of your business plan, it's just, you gotta do it.
We gotta do it, correct. To be legal, you have to add liquor. You can't have hemp without liquor.
I don't get it.
Is that right, Mr. Mayor?
I am clueless.
That's why it took us 4 hours.
Part of that is a long time ago.
Trying to understand why we have to.
Never
have
started.
And we knew this was gonna turn into this where nobody knew anything.
Is that vape store
Very
still
good.
in shopping center there? Do they sell alcohol? The
Do
other vape stores?
They do not.
They are not.
I mean, how are they doing it now?
They're not changing.
They're not.
If somebody was to buy it, then they would get some license.
If they were to sell it to the new owner, we'd probably have to change something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's probably. I think it's-
Okay.
Just so we can see the process.
I think we're good now. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's some discussion of possible table in this to our next council meeting. Do I have a motion to table it? I'll make a motion to table. Council Tuck made a motion, do I have a second? I'll second. Council Pro Tem Young made a second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the table this till our April the 6th council meeting, please raise your right hand. Motion passed 6-0. Now I need a motion to bring an item to the floor. We'll take a majority vote, and it's, an ordinance to amend chapter 90 for solid waste services. This is our trash collection. I guess we can have discussion after we bring the motion from, Drew, you want to discuss now why we need to bring it from the floor?
Yeah.
So in digging through our ordinances, Stephanie and her team actually found that our solid waste collection fee structure ordinance actually specifies a dollar amount for trash collection, which was great when we had a 20-year contract that didn't change. But now that we've had to rebid the contract, we have new values that are slightly higher than that. So we propose to amend that ordinance to essentially spell out the cost is what we get from the contractor, and we're passing that straight through to the resident on residential pickup. On commercial pickup, we add $1 for administrative costs to recover some administrative costs, not all of it. With the current procurement practices, we can't have a contract longer than 5 years, so hopefully that's worded in a manner that when it's rebid in 5 years, it's still accurate. If we're still doing a $1 charge on commercial. Does that make sense? You guys have any questions?
Good. So have a motion bringing this item from the floor. Make a motion bring this item from the floor. Council Tuck made a motion, do I have a second? Ms. Gordy made a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passed 6-0. Now I need a motion, since this is an ordinance for immediate consideration. Do I have a motion for immediate consideration?
Make a motion for immediate consideration.
Council Pro Tem Young made a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Council Tuck made a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor for immediate consideration, please raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0. Now, I need a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the ordinance as presented.
Council Gordy made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Pro Tem Young made the second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of passing the ordinance as presented, please raise your right hand. Motion carried 6-0. That's everything that's on the agenda tonight as far as ordinance and resolutions. Public comment, no one signed up tonight. Comments from the council, we'll start from Council Gordy.
Oh, just thank everybody for coming. I know it's kind of been a long day, long time full comment. Thank you for coming. Appreciate the support and, just wanting to help us out and make the city a better place. We're slowly getting there.
Thank you. Council Walker.
Thanks for everybody for coming out. Like the mayor said, if you see somebody littering, call them out. I was out of town yesterday and there was some trash running around and there's garbage bins all on every street. So I just picked it up and threw it away. So hopefully everybody will start doing that. Welcome to all the new employees to the city. And also, they were delivering my garbage cans today. So bright, shiny, new little Martin garbage cans were being put out in here too. So green, they are green, walking green.
So there you go.
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Young.
Yeah, I would like to thank everybody also for being here tonight, and I want to thank Kristen for your effort in completing the case study. We appreciate your work, and I know you had help in that area as well. Also, I was going to thank the superintendent for being here with us tonight to discuss that with the school system. Other than that, I hope y'all have a great night.
Thank you, Council Tuck.
Thank everybody for being here. Just to echo what everybody said previously. Congratulations to all the new employees, and also thank you for supporting all working that together. I know you had some challenges and different things, but thank you for getting it done for us. And shout out to Jeremy and his staff this week for the East Egg Hunt. So look forward to more events like that.
Thank you. Councilman Lucas?
Just thank everyone for showing up tonight and everybody have a blessed week.
Thank you. I would like to say, Christian, appreciate your work. I know not everyone's gonna be happy, so you got the ones that are gonna be in the year. We want to make sure it's right, so we appreciate you working with us, making sure, because we want to make sure every employee is treated fairly. They get all that they deserve to get, because we want to be the city that people come to work, not to flee from work. So we do have great people here that have stayed with us through the thick and thin, and we definitely appreciate that, and we look forward to new employees. Our trip to Washington, I think, was a great trip. I got to know Councilman Tuck and Scott a lot better than I did. We really had a good time. Councilman Tuck showed out. We had a meet and greet. I mean, and he came back as the free throw shooter there in the little basketball game they had. He got tried by many states, and no one could beat him. He's a reigning champ up there, so he made a name for himself. And they were very active. I was very pleased to see them at all the meetings. I think we got a lot from that. And just appreciate what the city does, all the departments. I appreciate what you do, and always Stephanie and Romy, we couldn't do our job without y'all to make sure everything's right. Piper, you always valued as well. You on the sidelines over there in Larkin, we always appreciate your opinion.
Well, Supreme Court's opinion.
That's all I have to say. Mayor?
I don't know a whole lot to say tonight, but thank you all for being here, and I'll try this song. We're trying to get a song to sing and a place to sing it. Sitting before you up here, we are your mayor and council, and we're happy and delighted to be serving you, because that's our job. On the other hand, many of you sitting in this room make up the core of our city government and our city implementation. And I don't know about everybody, but I'm on board, and I'm inviting everybody who will, raise your hand. I'm on board to get about the business of Elliott City becoming the center of excellence in East Alabama.
So all you have, Mayor?
That's it.
We don't have any.
Oh, let me tell you, I'm inviting people. The chamber is sponsoring a dragon boat race. Dragon boats are exactly that. You see pictures of them. These are coming in from some people up in Birmingham area, the greater Birmingham area, that have the boats. They're going to deliver the boats in. We just need some people to volunteer to paddle the boat. We need at least 4 females. We got 1. And Romy just volunteered to be number 2. But it's going to be April the what? 18th. And see Benita. Benita's going to be calling people to get in. We need people to paddle the boat. We need 10 total people. We got 4. So council people.
Are there any practice days?
No.
No, so it's all
Practice day. But if you pull a paddle.
There is a weight limit.
The
drummer
has to weigh less than 160 pounds. So Mike and I are the 2 mics are out. But if you're willing to paddle the boat, see Benita, wave your hand. I think we've got 4, but we need at least 6 more and a couple of backups.
How long is the race?
As long as it takes the paddle.
They're gonna leave the beach area and go around to the.
I'm really serious. How long?
We're going from Wind Creek to Clyde.
No.
They're
going from the beach area.
It'll be a very short race. But all the money goes to a wonderful cause, and the chamber sponsoring it. And seriously, if you are interested, see Benita, because we do need people to paddle the boat.
right. Thank you. Next thing is our next council meeting is Monday, April the 6th at 5:30. And I think it's spoken earlier, keep the mayor's wife in your prayer. I think she's home, she's recovering.
I can search tomorrow.
All right. So just keep this family in prayer. That being said, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, all those in favor, just raise your right hand. We adjourn. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.